Hi guys, my name is Mitko from Questups, and I'm super excited and grateful to Cristina and the Department of International Trade for co-organizing with us this amazing program with 4 events and 1 delegation at the end. The topic for this night is actually key support for your business in the UK. And we have amazing speakers. Here with us is Nigel Jones, who is actually a member of the board of advisors of Prolific North, and he's also representing the Norton Powerhouse. Here is Emily Hoble, which is from London and Partners, and she's senior inward investment manager. And we're just waiting for Derek Goodwin, who is the head of entrepreneurship from the Global Entrepreneurship Program. After their session, we will have Q&A, and after that we will see a showcase project manager from Elis Luige. She is project manager from DIT, and 1 success story of product landing in the UK from Dreamix and the CEO Todor Gigirev. But before that, I would like again to thank you, Cristina, for those 2 years of amazing work we have done together. This is 2nd season of our program, and the last one from 125 companies, 25 were selected to present in British Council in Sofia, and where you and Nigel met them, interviewed them, and selected 5 companies for fully funded delegation in the UK. It was amazing in Manchester. I'm in love with the UK, so I will stop speaking and give you the word to share with us more about the Department of International Trade and the services. Guys, the quest for me this night is to demystify the term soft landing, because many people in Bulgaria are actually thinking that in order to have your personal project manager and to use those 750 experts, you have to have an entity in the UK and be there physically or something like this. No, that's not the case, and we'll hear more about that from Cristina. Thank you, Cristina.
Thank you, Mitko, for the lovely introduction. I'm so happy to meet you all, and I'm very thankful that, for your interest in the UK markets, in the UK opportunities, and of course, your appetite for the program that we built. And I do hope this is going to be a worthy session, and you're going to receive part of your answers. I'll try to make myself short, which is a bit difficult for me because usually I have to talk and pitch for about 20 or 30 minutes just to be able to cover the AT, what we are actually doing and who we are and blah, 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 blah. So I'll just give you a brief summary, some key facts, and then you are happy to contact me or write to me or call me or have any other one-to-one sessions, because this is a program built, tailored, for you, for the audience, and we are going to be here for the next, let's say, 3-4 months. So this is not a limited time, so no one is under pressure. You can raise your questions anytime, and we can one-to-one or one-to-many organize sessions and offer tailored support. So my name is simply Cristina. Just call me Chris or Cristina. I'm part of DIT, Department for International Trade. So I'm serving the Queen, the Crown, and the UK government. But mainly what I'm serving and is the companies, the entrepreneurs from Europe Central. So I have 5 babies of my own. I take care of Bulgaria, Serbia, Bosnia Herzegovina, North Macedonia, and my mother country, Romania. So any entrepreneur, any company, any person that is interested to build business in the UK or expand the current operations in the UK, grow, scale up, even if it's a startup or a big account, they should write to me and they should contact me. In a way, I am your translator and I am your, let's say, middleman. So if you get to me, I will make sure that I make the right introductions. We study your business case, we establish your needs and requirements, and then we assign a UK project manager in the field so that we may help you with your successful lending in the UK. So we can help you with a lot of things. So I'll go briefly through that, and if you have any curiosities, I can actually give you more info on the questions and answer session. Just let me go here to I scratched a few slides for you, because this is not, it's not an event with presentations, but just for you to have few things noted down. So if you get to DIT, if you get to me or to Nigel Jones or to Midco, definitely you'll be receiving like bespoke attention and support. And what we can do for you, we can start with the basics. So a lot of startups are asking us, Cristina, how can I set up a business in the UK? How long does it take? Is it difficult? Is it complicated? I would like to open a bank account. Does it really take like 6 months? What are the terms and conditions? Do you have any tips and tricks? I don't have enough money for marketing. Is there any options that you can give us? What about offices? What about virtual correspondence address? Do you have any soft lending options? Can you reduce us the costs? Can you give us any governmental incentives? If we are a research and development company, can we have anything, any advantages from the governments? Can you make key introductions to us to like key stakeholders, investors, buyers, angels, local partners, organizations, universities, laboratories, sci-tech, innovation centers? Yes, yes, yes. So we can do all this for you. And the nice thing is that it actually works, even if it's free of charge. And we treat everything under confidentiality terms. So as we call it, it's for our eyes only. It's an in-house type of project management. And we have the right to share the information or your business case with any other partners with your approval. So only if you want us to make further introductions, we'll be able to share information. And our key support is, so from these basic things, as we call them, it can go beyond. So we can actually do financial assessments or financial modeling. For example, certain people want to know, is it cheaper for me to move to the UK or open a new branch in the UK, keep the Bulgarian or the company in Serbia and have a second office in the UK? Should I go to London? Should I go to Manchester? Or maybe, I don't know, I would like to be part of Cambridge or Oxford's circle. What does that mean? So we can actually assess the cost for you. We can tell you, how much the utilities cost, how much an office costs, how much it costs for you to hire people on different roles. And we can actually go even further. We have big projects that require warehouse spaces, production lines, factories, a lot of R&D resources. So we cover all that. And an extra thing that we can actually do for you is to run market research. So, you are tech companies, but you work across any other sectors. So the business, the products and the services you provide, are for different industries for different fields. So you can think of any type of statistics or topics that are useful for your assessment, for your business development, and together with the project management, we can run that market research. So we can compile in-depth reports, and you will receive it on your table, let's say in 2-3 weeks time, depending how busy the project manager is in that period, but it usually takes up to 2 or 3 weeks. And again, we do have a lot of entrepreneurial assistance. So anytime from the very beginning, and even after you land in the UK, we do have aftercare programs. So you're going to receive mentorship and a knowledge transfer on the full journey, and after you landed in the UK. And last thing that I would like to tell you is that it was I was very impressed by the fact that so many companies applied for the program from all three countries. And it's really an honor for us that we received so much attention. So we will do our best and sincere interest to help you, even at your own pace and rhythm. So if you want to land in the UK in the next few months, or if you want to do it in the next 4 years, or you simply want to assess a possible scenario of landing in the UK in the near future, we are the right people you can talk to. You can see we are young, we are restless, we have a lot of energy, so don't protect us, just call us, write to us. We are here for full assistance. So when I received the applications and Mitko sent me the questionnaires, I could see a lot of consistent questions raised by you, like very fearful ones about Brexit, about COVID, about UK tech, other markets, and how competitive we are. But at the same time, I could see questions about how can we be like sexy for the UK market? How can we attract the UK consumers? How can we gain trust of the UK market and the UK clients? We are from Bulgaria, we are from Central Europe. Is that a problem? Will they discriminate us? And, you know, being from Romania, I pretty much understand the background. But you know, what I want to say to you is that apart from probably from a lot of other markets, UK is very famous for the ease of doing business. UK is very it's very diverse. And just to give you some fun facts, is that half of the UK's fastest growing startups have at least one non-Brits co-founder. So 50% of the companies that land in the UK are actually a combination with non-Brits. The co-founders of the fastest growing businesses in the UK come from, not from the UK, but from other 29 countries. So it's a pattern. That's business as usual in the UK. So don't be afraid that you are in a different country, you have different routes, and be afraid to, I don't know, about the distance or about different culture specifics, because they don't exist. And again, I haven't seen too many ladies online, but UK is as well very famous for the fact that there are so many female entrepreneurs, more than Germany and France combined. So hip hip hooray. So we UK is a very comfortable environment for entrepreneurs, especially for startups. And you listen to Nigel Jones later, and probably he will tell you a bit more. But the highest number of unicorns in tech are in the UK, and most great business cases that I could see and visit are within the Northern Powerhouse. So hopefully we'll go for the program, you know, with everyone, with each and one of you, in best of health. So everyone is going to be safe from COVID and flu and the other like family issues. We are going to select 5 of the best business cases we meet during the program, and together, you know, we will travel to the UK and we will visit some very beautiful and interesting places for you, and you'll be able to meet relevant, you know, key stakeholders. Through the program, you'll meet a lot of mentors, you'll meet people that have hands-on experience and expertise in building businesses, in helping you you know, applying for funding and granting, so you can get some government support and get their money, because they have a lot of money in the UK. It's on the table. They just want, you know, the most innovative and the best products. And we'll be able to help you with that as well. And you'll see some business cases that already had the journey. They're already in the UK, and they will be able to share with you very honestly how it feels like, you know, the bad things, you know, the good things, how they worked with us, what project management means from the IT, and so on. So you'll be able to question all these people. You can even have like common one-to-ones, and you will see that we actually did good. we are great, as the brand says, like Great Britain, great investments. So thank you all for being tonight. My best regards and best of health, and I will stay in the background, and if there's any answers that I can give to you, I will do it over the questions and answer session. So thank you, Mitko, once again for being such a great organizer. And now we have to give the floor to the mentors. I would like to see a lot of chatting and a lot of interaction tonight. You know, just raise questions and we are here to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank
Over
you,
to you, Mitko.
Thank you, Cristina, for this great introduction. So I would like to introduce Nigel Jones. He's from the Northern Powerhouse, and he's a member of the Board of Advisors of Prolific North. And after that, I will introduce Emily and Derek. You both guys have 5 minutes in order to introduce yourself, to share with our great companies in what are you actually going to be most useful to them. So please, Nigel, welcome.
Thanks, Mitko. Hello, everybody. So listen, thank you. I'll try and give a bit of an overview now. Obviously, I'm keen to answer as many questions as I can, as you say, during this and over the next few days, weeks and months going forward. But just as a headline, so I work for, I guess, a few different things there. But I guess the main thing that's relevant here is for the Department for International Trade, or DIT, which does two main things. So we help businesses that are in the UK to export. So if your journey is to internationalize, we can help you from the UK to do that. And we also help businesses from anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter if you're from Romania or wherever else it might well be. I help businesses to land in the UK. And once you're here, to be successful. I'm what's called a sector specialist for DIT, which means I focus on the tech sector. So I'm a tech sector specialist. It's a very broad definition of tech. And I think most of the companies here in some way, shape or form are tech. So I specialize in that. And I guess the key way to sort of articulate what I do is I provide a free service to businesses, and looking at the questions that were asked, it's probably to answer those questions. It's to give you a sense of how do you access the UK marketplace. And there are some general things that everybody has the same question about, and we can cover that off maybe for everybody, but then you have to get to the specifics. And the specifics are more about you as a company, the type of technology you're in, the type of products or service, the supply chain, the ecosystem, the customers. People have asked about events and how you get into those sort of things. My job's to help with any and all of those things. So I do quite a lot of this at the moment. You know, I can't travel. I was over there, I guess a year or ago, I guess it was now. And I'm looking forward to getting out there again. But for now, I do a lot of these virtual sessions. And this is what we can start to engage you in. We're keen to continue a dialogue. We're keen to understand what particular interests you have, who we can introduce you to. I've run quite a few sessions, even over the time when we've been in lockdown here in the UK, with lots of potential customers. And one thing I'm conscious of for tech companies, whatever tech you have, often you want to know about some non-tech companies. So it's good to know about yourself and the talent and all the rest of it. But often your companies are not tech companies. So which are the verticals, which are the sort of, if you like, sectors may you be looking to sell into? So I've run sessions specifically in and around manufacturing, for example. I've run sessions in and around the health sector here in the UK. I've run a session earlier on today, for immersive tech companies. So VR, AR companies selling into the manufacturing base, and even offshore wind in the UK. I've done some work with some of the big brands here. So, for example, Manchester City, I know Cristina mentioned sort of some of this previously. We've done some work with the biggest sports brands here who have a lot of money and actually are keen to do, I guess, as well off the pitch as they are on it. They actually have some sports venture funding. And I've also done some work with some of the big utility companies over the summertime. So none of you will probably have heard of a company called United Utilities, but they provide water in one small part of the UK. That's water out of taps and the dirty stuff that goes the other way. But they spend £1 billion a year in their supply chain, and they want to be more effective and efficient in their use of technology. They have an accelerator program in which they want to sort of engage with businesses from all over the world. And that's a standing point I'll point back to. We want businesses from all over the world to be engaging with companies that are in the UK. Doesn't matter where you're from. I think a few of the questions have been about, does it matter if you're from whichever country it is? No, it doesn't. Companies here want to find the best anywhere. And if you've got a good product or service, we want to find that win-win. We want to match you up with some opportunities here. It can be a bit difficult on the one-to-one, and we can get into the detail of that on questions, but we are trying to find opportunities for you to be successful and give you an advantage, a competitive advantage. And as Cristina says, and Mitko knows, it's a free and confidential service. So we want to help you. The only caveat and the only sort of warning is in all of these things is that much as I like and love you all and want to help you all as much as I can, we need to understand what your plans are for the UK. It needs to be somewhere. It doesn't need to be today, doesn't need to be tomorrow, but you are at some point thinking about moving to, establishing a base, employing people, selling into the UK. What does that plan look like? And that then unlocks and gives us the reason to start giving you the answers, the questions, the information, and the introductions. So I think that's probably a couple of minutes overview. I'm happy to take any questions now or later on. And I guess, I don't know if it's Emily next.
Thank you very much, Nigel. Pretty useful. So I would like to invite Emily on the stage in order to share with us more about London and partners. She's Senior Inward Investment Manager and she's into financial, business services and technology. So hi, Emily, can you hear us?
I can, thank you, and hi everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I mentioned to a few people on the pre-call, but please do ignore my background of boxes. I'm moving house in a couple of days, so it's all a bit of a mess. But yeah, I mean, fantastic overview from Nigel and Cristina on the Department for International Trade. And now that you've all got such a good understanding of what they do, it will hopefully make it easier in explaining what London and Partners does, because we're very similar. London and Partners is the Mayor of London's economic development agency. And so our role is to support international companies that are interested in establishing a presence in London. And that really is a really kind of broad brief. We deal with a lot of different things within that. So it could be, for example, supporting companies with setting up their legal entity, or working out whether they qualify for R&D tax incentives, dealing with immigration or recruitment, banking, office space, all of those kind of operational things. And then another really important part of what we do is connecting companies into events and networks. And Nigel kind of touched upon this, but it's very much about making sure that companies are embedded in the UK ecosystem. I think there's a lot going on and it can be quite overwhelming. And so I think a really important part of our job, both mine and Nigel's, is kind of streamlining that for companies and helping them to work out what to prioritize. Beyond that, I mean, the important things to say are it's not kind of a defined program. So, you know, we can start working with you whenever. Like Cristina said, it doesn't matter if you're not planning on setting up anything in the UK for the next couple of years. You know, we're delighted to engage with you and support whenever we can. And we have sector specialists as well. So I predominantly focus on financial services and technology, so fintech, but I have colleagues that deal with life sciences, other colleagues that deal with creative, and I think that's really important in the kind of events and networks piece, because it means that we can really make sure that you're connected to the important people in London. And then the final thing just to say is that similar to the Department for International Trade, everything that we do is free and confidential. So you don't have to worry about us sending you a nasty invoice at any point. It's all free. That's all from me. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into the questions.
And thank you very much, Emily. I would like to introduce our next great speaker, Derek Goodwin. He is head of entrepreneurship at the Global Entrepreneurship Program. And can you hear me, Derek?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So hi, everyone. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview about myself and the program that I set up and run. Essentially, the Global Entrepreneur Program is a program which is part of what you've already heard, the Department for International Trade. However, the people that work on it are not necessarily are entrepreneurs, and that's, I guess, what differentiates us from many of our colleagues across DIT. Just to give you a background of why that is. So the program, our main aim is to attract high potential, high impact founders with innovative businesses to the UK. Now, that isn't just us wanting to do that. The reason is we want to help, and we want to transform, and we want to inspire ambitious and aspirational founders with great businesses to scale their businesses from the UK location. The fact is, I spend much of my time, and the program spends much of its time, working around the world in locations where it is tough to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be Mark Zuckerberg, or you name it. They want to be, the ambition is to have a successful tech business. But the reality is that in very few parts of the world does the ecosystem in which they sit give it the tools and the access and the expertise in order to be able to scale that business. It's very difficult to get to sort of seed rounds. It's very difficult to get the right level of mentoring and the right access, the right talent in order to scale. And the UK has that in abundance in its ecosystem. And I know that Nigel has already, and Cristina already mentioned the fact that the UK is probably, in terms of scale itself as an ecosystem for entrepreneurs, third behind the US and China in real terms. And given that our economy is substantially lower than those two, I think the UK really punches above its weight in terms of the ability to scale businesses. Businesses can raise money. I mean, something that Cristina said about there is lots of money available in the UK, but that makes it competitive. So therefore, businesses really need to demonstrate why an investor should invest in them. And hopefully some of these things will come out in the questions later. But the UK is a real land of opportunity for entrepreneurs that want to scale their businesses. And my program our role is to get people into that ecosystem and to help them and to mentor them, to provide them with the expertise, knowledge, and networks they need to do that. And the way why we can do that is because my team is made up of entrepreneurs. These are people that have the experience, and they've raised money, they've exited, they've scaled, they've built sales strategies, they've done product market fit, all those things that you guys are really wrestling with at the moment. They've done that on a number of occasions, and therefore have the right skills and knowledge that entrepreneurs want to tap into. So we as a program, we work with, as I said, founders who are looking to scale, and those that we feel have the right product and the right attitude. We will seek to transform and inspire and bring those people the opportunity to do that. So the question I ask all of you is, if you are interested in a UK operation, what type of operation are you thinking about? Is it a sales office, or is it more than that? Is it a vehicle to access the UK in order to scale and internationalize? If it's the latter, if it is that you want to do something more than that, you really need to ensure that the solution or the product you have has a good market fit, and it is a solution for a problem, or it is a solution for an opportunity. I'm not going to say any more than that, but I'm really looking forward to talking to you. Just to let you know, in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, we've worked with at least 13 or 14 companies from your region, from Romania, Bulgaria, and Serbia, which we've helped them to establish UK headquarters. Because in order to access the assistance and the funding and all those things that the UK has, you need to be located in the UK. So on that basis, I'm going to shut up because I could talk for more, but I realise we're under pressure on time. So hopefully I'll be able to answer people's questions later. Thank you.
No worries, Derek. Thank you so much. Mitko, just I would like to add one note to Derek's pitch line, let's say. Derek, thank you so much for the efforts to join us, and I'm really happy you made it. I think the voice is the critical, is what we need. I can confirm you are very handsome, and I'm sure the people will have a chance to.
No, he's not, Cristina.
No. Yeah. Okay, Nigel, you're the most handsome, or no? Okay. As I said, we are all very young and full of energy, and dedicated to you, the entrepreneurs. Derek has an amazing program, and each of the mentors, like Nigel and Emily, they all have critical programs for your business development. It's your role to find the right fit for your future, for your personal future, and for your business future. I put here a slide about the Global Entrepreneur Program. So I will share the slides with you after the session. And I would like to, as a little surprise, or as a big surprise, but hopefully it's going to be a pleasant one, Derek Goodwin and together with his deal makers are going to be available inside our program for a masterclass session. So you are going to be, again, probably we are going to send a poll and we are going to select, a number of cases from all the participants, and you are going to enjoy a masterclass with Derek and the Dealmakers team, and you will be able to get more insights and concrete info in how you can actually, pull it through. If you wish to relocate the business in the UK and get some guidance to grow internationally. So thank you, Derek, so much.
Yes, so
this was just a teaser.
Just on that, the masterclass, we will look at things like how to build a go-to-market strategy, the things to look for in a funding strategy, how to access grants. So it will be practical, it will be operational, but it will also mean that the people at the masterclass will need to come armed with questions and to show us their ambition, so that we can come together and help them. We're about helping companies on their journey from start to finish. And once they're in the program, we work with them until they want to. Once they're here, we have alumni aftercare programs. So it's very detailed, but the masterclass will be something. I hope we do this a lot, and hopefully it will be a great experience for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you again, Derek. And after that, we can talk more about your amazing track record with like 900 deals for those 10, 12 years, and like more than 40 deals during COVID, like for the last 6 months, which is impressive. So, guys,
thank you.
I have a list of questions, and the process is inviting you with the video to share what's your name, what's your company, and what's your question. Now, I would like to invite Nigel Jones from his company, Butra Tech. Now, are you here?
Okay, yeah. So I'm Nigel Jones, MD of Butra Tech. It's a new company that's working with a few tech companies from Bulgaria, helping them with their international growth plans. And I just wanted to understand a little bit more about the program, whether that could be defined in terms of sort of phases or the major value adds when people come out the other side. What's the difference that it really makes? What's the sort of bottom line point of view? So that's my question.
Thank you, Niall. Thank you for your question. I think it's just a very good question to kick off, and probably everyone is having this in mind when applying on the program. So keep in mind, we have Nigel Jones, Northern Powerhouse, our mentor, and then we have Nigel Jones from Butra in Bulgaria, which is, again, a very nice business case we have on the pipeline. And I'm really happy, Niall, that you made it and you could attend our session this evening. So as I said in my introduction, this is a long-term program. So this is the second edition. You were asking about the 3 countries we've selected. So last year we had Romania and Bulgaria, and together with Nigel Jones and Mitko, we had a full week of conferences, events, workshops. We traveled together. We had a lot of fun, and we met a lot of good startups and tech companies from Romania and Bulgaria. It was a success, and at the end we did select 5 business cases, and we traveled together to Manchester in March this year. It was quite a trip, because on the last day of our, let's say, itinerary, the COVID pressure burst out, and most of the people were trying to find a good flight back home. So we got really scared back then. But the fact is that what we are going to do this year, and I always hope that each year we can add value and create new things, and we can add even more value and hands-on, like practical element of the program, is the fact that, for example, last year the companies, they could pitch to key companies, to buyers and to investors. So the companies actually had a chance in the front row to sign the first contract with a big company, or actually receive, get money from one of the investors that were available in the room. So it was quite impressive. And again, we visited some key places in the UK. You will see it awaits you as well. So this year we made it a little bit more complicated. It's a bit more complex. So because we had a lot of things to learn last year, now we decided to extend the program and have it on 3 pillars. So the main and the first, so each pillar has an online event, but the 3 online sessions and the 3 major pillars are as follows: DIT support for your businesses. The second pillar is funding and granting, so money for your business and how to reach for the money. And the third pillar is sales and partnerships. So this is the third pillar is about client readiness, investor readiness, how to actually grow the business by being in the UK and talking to people, or let's say guys that have businesses that can actually accelerate or give you the first clients in the UK. And you're going to meet some, from my perspective, some incredible people, because when I scratched the program, what I try to find for you is not just the know-how and the expertise, but I wanted to find for you people, like real people and mentors with genuine interest for your own good, people that actually put their hearts into their day-to-day work and actually do amazing things, and they have a lot of success stories on their pipeline. All the rock stars and all the mentors are people you can actually talk to, you can raise questions, you don't need to be shy. And are people with a lot of experience. We have Mohamed Semik from Deloitte, and he's the leader on the Power Up Western Balkans program, which is an amazing program. Just check it online. I'll send you a link. We have Paul Billington, and he's having now a known initiative that is going to make the problems of the big corporations in the UK with your tech solutions. So he's actually having both the money and clients. He just wants to find a good fit in your tech proposal. So he's in a way accelerating and giving you a chance to start up in the UK. We have Cristian Dascalu, and he's the co-founder and co-head of Gapminder VC, which is the biggest VC in Romania, but as well they have a program to expand in the whole region, in the whole Western Balkans. And they started with A and B seeding stages, but now they want to expand themselves and go up to probably 10-15 million euros. So they are always eager to find good business cases, and they have the money, they have the interest. All we have to do is present your products and services and prove them that we have a good quality pipeline, and it's your role here to pitch, to sell yourself, and then we have the B. Sorry.
Thank you for this answer, but in order to keep the time, because we have huge amount of questions, I would like to
So this is the program. It's the 3 pillars plus the on-site events, and it's hands-on information. So we are not going to go through presentations and a lot of slides and materials. We are going to actually talk to the people, and you're going to you can always connect to us in between the events. So it's not just a series of events, it's a program, and you have full access to the resources. Thank you, Miko.
Thank you. Thanks.
Niall, hope it answered your question, yeah?
I'm pretty sure. I would like to invite Christian Ivanov from Agrinizer. Christian, are you here?
Yeah, that's me. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris, and I'm the founder and CEO of Agrinizer, which is a digital marketplace for grain buyers and sellers. And basically, we empower farmers and buyers to easily connect and negotiate deals more efficiently, entirely online. So our purpose is to provide fair, transparent, and accessible opportunities for everyone along the grain marketing chain.
Okay, what's your question?
So yeah, my question is probably rather general, but what I wanted to learn in this meeting is the potential partnerships, sales, and funding opportunities that the program gives.
I'm happy to go first if it helps. So I'll try and keep it brief because I know you want to get through a few. So you mentioned sort of agri-tech, I guess, of sorts there. So just quickly to mention Paul Billington's part of this program. I don't think on the call at the minute. He's doing some outreach work, particularly around Bulgaria at the minute, but it can happen anywhere. There's a program in the UK called C4DI. So if you go and Google that, literally the letter C, C4DI. It's actually an incubator based in Hull, and it does a lot of outreach specifically into Eastern Europe. They have a lot of programs with some of the bigger corporates. They're actually just launching a new incubator specifically on agri-tech. So actually, in terms of actually accessing those networks, accessing potential partnerships, being part of these sorts of events, try to see what your partner could look like, that's a good one to go for. Funding's a difficult one to give a quick answer to. There's lots of potential funding. Some of it's location specific. So there are around 30, that's 30, different clusters of tech right across the UK. So I would sort of start on the basis of what's a good fit for you. So for example, the C4DI incubator might be a good pull factor for you, for example. And then in terms of what the funding is used for, Derek discusses funding in maybe, if you like, the smart money sense in terms of the VCs, the private equity and so on, which is perfectly fine. There's then other funding, which is maybe more sort of R&D, or innovation type funding. Again, you're probably best to start to share, not now because there won't be time, but with Christine to begin with, what sorts of activities, what sorts of funding would you be looking for? So is it more on an R&D type basis to do what? In which case we can start to give you a flavor for what sort of programs are out there. Often it's on the basis of a challenge. So there's a challenge out there for industry and you can respond. Other ones are a bit more specific in terms of what you're trying to achieve, and you might need a partner or collaborator with a university and so on. So hopefully that's a quick but hopefully reasonably comprehensive one.
Sorry, can I just come in on that last one? I think there are a lot of marketplace platforms across the UK in many sectors. I realise that this is for the agri-tech sector, but I think we would really need to understand what differentiates your marketplace from what is already out there. So I think you need to do some research on competitors before you sort of start thinking about trying to get funding, because one of the first questions any investor, and even on a grant, it would be what is your competition, and what differentiates you from that, given that, as I said, the UK is one of the leaders in terms of retail tech and marketplace technology and e-commerce. So just something to bear in mind.
Thank you, Derek. Actually, I would add that Paul Billington is going to be speaker in our strategic partnerships and sales event, and he's running amazing new type of accelerator called Project 808. in which it's like a reverse accelerator, in which he actually groups different big enterprises in different sectors like manufacturing or retail, and he's selecting and inviting promising companies from our part of Europe to actually propose solutions from the problems he actually extracted them. And after that, the investors are onboarded. After you have one confirmed big enterprise customer, the investors are invited. So this is, according to us, interesting type of model. So guys, Zoran Tadic is with our next question. Zoran, are you here?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Zoran.
Yeah. Hi guys, hi everyone, how are you? I'm Zoran Tadic, owner and CEO of IT Creator from Belgrade, Serbia. We are a technology company who deliver great products for our clients. And one of our major questions is, and we would like to know about, about process of funding and granting solution in the UK.
Yeah, I think I would probably just elaborate on what Nigel was saying earlier, particularly around R&D tax incentives. So I think for any businesses that are doing any form of R&D, those are kind of one of the biggest incentives in the UK, 230%. So that's definitely something worth flagging. And then around grants, Derek, you might have a better knowledge of that area than I do.
Yeah, I was going to. So Innovate UK is probably one of the best organisations, certainly in Europe, at providing grants for. Usually, I mean, it's better for sort of hardware, early stage hardware companies. I mean, it does software as well, but for hardware companies, because obviously funding hardware businesses is longer time to market, longer. So the early type of, so it likes to look at, I wouldn't necessarily say deep tech, but hardware type technologies. And so Innovate UK does a series of grants around that, match funding. During COVID, during our first lockdown from March onwards, it ran a COVID fund. So it was awarding grants to companies building technology solutions created by the COVID pandemic, etc. So it adapts to the market, but it also provides some significant funding for, as I said, for research activity. It's also a lot of it. There's also lots of funding sort of enabled. We're working with universities, and there are a lot of universities in the UK that partner with companies to research, to provide that level of research to help companies with their development activities. So yeah, I mean, if you have 5 minutes and you want to just Google Innovate UK, and you'll find a whole range of grant funding that's available. They have a big pot of money, and it's a very useful organisation. And my program, three of the people on my team actually have already got grants from that for their own businesses, and also advise companies on how to access those grants. So yeah, so that's something to bear in mind. I mean, if you're looking at other funding solutions, I know in terms of angel and VC funding in the UK has various tax incentives available to business angels investing in technology companies at an early stage. So there's tax incentives to them, and it's known as the Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme. You don't need to remember that for now, but it's just that when companies set themselves up in the UK, they make them SEIS compliant, which means that they can then work with angel investors in order to access angel funding up to 100k times however many angels want to get involved, and that can be and that is actually massive. Angel investment is massive in the UK on the back of the SEIS incentives. So there's a whole bunch of things. Too many to talk about now, but happy to discuss those afterwards.
Mikko, can I just come in with one quick thing on the end? And I'm going to be the first to address your answer to what's a soft landing program as well as part of it. So just in terms of, I guess, money, if we're talking about money and funding, which is a really broad subject, and there's different kind of ways to kind of break that down, and we discuss, you know, things like smart money or R&D, for example, and we can help you in all of those. In terms of soft landings, for example, there is actually some potentially, depending in different parts of the UK, you look at some money available for businesses to establish an entity. It doesn't mean you have to move. If you want to move, that's fine, but you don't have to move. It could be a subsidiary or a branch. You know, you can just put something on the ground in the UK. But there are certain locations, certain cities, for example, that will have incentives to say, if you set up your business in this particular location, there is potentially money available. And that's usually on the basis of how many people you're employing. I think we're all going to be tech businesses here. So that's the sort of business they're looking to sort of bring on board. And soft landings sit alongside that. And that's kind of about how we make market access easier. So I think at the minute, people might be a bit concerned the fact that, you know, we don't know when you can physically be here, but we don't know maybe when you can physically establish an office. But if you're starting down a road of, well, actually, I just need to be part of the UK. I need to be actually accessing these networks, accessing the right sorts of conversations and so on. You can actually look to take advantage of a soft landing program, which we can start to get a sense of maybe some free office space, some discounted support. Obviously, DIT support is free, but you can start to look up on different professional services, for example, which may come with a cost that can be subsidized. You can look to take a virtual office for now. So you just get the address. Maybe for now, people just want the address. You don't need to think, well, I don't need an object. I'm not looking to employ it yet. Maybe over the next few months, or you might be. But that's what soft landing is about. And to answer on it, if you like, whether it's R&D funding or smart money funding, or which cities are giving away the free money, share with Cristina to begin with what you want to achieve, what your business is. As Derek's saying there, you will be asked questions in and around what does success look like? What's your product and service? So don't go, well, actually, I'm looking to get from you, so the answer I need to give you. Don't go down that road. Go down what do you want to achieve, and we'll try to unlock the doors for you. We'll try to sort of guide you down where there are opportunities. That's probably the best advice I give. So not a complete answer for soft landing, but I wanted to somehow weave it in, Meko, because I knew you were interested.
It's pretty good answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ivan, can you share your questions? Ivan Kadic from 60 Seconds.
Yes, hi guys. Hope you can hear me well. I'm Ivan from Belgrade, Serbia, CEO and co-founder of the 60 Seconds mobile application. We are reimagining e-commerce through gamification, in which both brands and customers win. And we actually closed our first round, pre-seed round in UK in September in London, and we moved our company. Now it's 2 months that we have incorporated in London. So I know a lot of the stuff that we spoke, but I'm very happy that being part of this. And I don't have any clear questions. It's just based on the sales and strategic partnerships in the future. So we will have, as I heard, that we will have the strategic partnership masterclass. So I'm happy to be part of it and to hear more about the brands and how to be engaged with local retail industry.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. I'm looking for 30 seconds answer in order to cover more of the specific questions. Guys, is there anybody with 30 seconds answer?
I would like to give something of 30 seconds, if you don't mind. Because, the question included retail and e-commerce. So the answer is yes, and we can talk a lot more about that together. So you have Nigel Jones, because together we had, I think, like 3 initiatives so far, like 3 delegations, particularly dedicated to e-commerce and retail. So we went to the biggest North shows in Manchester and Liverpool. We met a lot of people. We visited a lot of key locations for the businesses. Again, the companies were able to pitch in front of big key players in the UK with 1 billion up to, I think, 3 billion turnover.
Yep.
And like N Brown and Shop Direct. So yeah, we have a lot of high value opportunities, and UK is ranked #1 in terms of e-commerce and retail. So definitely there's a lot of work to do in that direction. So do join us for a separate session and we can talk about it. Thank you.
You're in a very good sector, Ivan. E-commerce in the UK and retail tech is having a good COVID, which I know is an insensitive thing to say, but it's doing incredibly well. So you're in a very good sector.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you, guys. And next is Theodora Stiru from Printivo.
Yeah, I already received some answers about my question about the grant opportunities. So obviously we'll have a session about it. We are very interested because our is in deep tech R&D, so we need money. But what we need more is actually contact with the right people, R&D partners in particular. We already made some connections in the UK, but the COVID situation stopped everything for now. So what we need is contact with research groups from universities or incubation centers that are working on bioprinting of human tissues and microfluidic systems. For the microfluidic, actually, we made very good contact with the University of Hull, but because of COVID, we had to stop for a while. Hopefully, after New Year, we will start communicating again. So we are definitely targeted at the northern part of UK because they have the best infrastructure there in terms of biotech and all the facilities and a lot of opportunities for funding. But yeah, how you can help us to reach pharma company and even small biotechs that are working on molecules, on developing molecules for new drugs.
Okay, guys.
More specific.
I can try and give a really quick answer. I'm with the detail of it. So I am again something for you to Google here, and I can follow up later on. So two things to mention. The first thing is there's a place in the north you mentioned called SciTech Daresbury. And SciTech Daresbury is one of the UK national centres of excellence for what we've called now deep tech. So it's a bit more sort of serious tech, if you like, including the applications in different areas. I've helped companies from the likes of Bulgaria and so on establish a base there. They actually have a program which actually gives you a free office desk for 1 year. So if you want to sort of get the business established, get it registered, get that virtual office, stick it on the website and so on, that's a free program for a year. And they give you access to those partnership opportunities, particularly in that different vertical space. The other thing to say is maybe about a month or two ago, I ran a webinar with NHS Digital, which is starting to address some of the areas that you're talking about there. And they're based over in Leeds. There's a really healthy ecosystem, particularly in and around Leeds, which isn't, I guess, that far away from Hull. So we can start to make some connections for you in and around those. So Nick, I hope that's hopefully a nice quick answer.
Thank you guys.
Can I just add something really quickly? Is an organisation called MedCity, who manage the life sciences sector for London, Oxford and Cambridge. So very worth kind of Googling them, and more than happy to introduce you. But they would know all of these people.
Great. I was actually going to say that myself whilst Nigel was there, obviously banging the drum for the north of England. The fact is, health tech is a massive industry across the whole of the UK, and I know of people in Cambridge and the area that Emily just mentioned. So I think it's worthwhile looking at the extent of the support. The support is obviously imperative, but also expertise is also very important. And I know of people that in different parts of the UK that could help on this. But I just all I was going to say was, keep all options open.
Yeah, of course. But just we received very warm welcome from the north.
Guys, you have more time after that to communicate to each mentor. I would like to actually. Yeah.
Sorry, just a short note, because I'm on top, and I'm connected to all the key regions in the UK, and yes, I do have quite a good connection with the Northern Powerhouse. But I would like to mention that UK is a huge territory. In order for us to be able to administrate it, we kind of had a mind mapping, and we have key city regions. And then we have local partners in each city region that know exactly the opportunities, the right programs, the hubs, the accelerators, the key stakeholders in their own city region. So when you come to our pipeline, and we try to get the best understanding of your business case and have the best matchmaking of your business case with the right region in the UK. It might be one place, it might be 2 or 3 locations. So if more things are suitable to you, then we are going to assess all the possibilities. Now, if we talk about biotech or medtech or health tech, UK is doing great, not just in one region, but in many regions. Now, it depends on you at what stage you are, what type of startup you are you now in process of developing the products, you already have a ready to go with traction proposal, you already have the products, how much money do you need? And that's why I consider MedCity, I consider Oxford's community there, and the sites like Dewsbury, that are all amazing and a very great fit. We just need to find if it's the right fit for you. So if you want to know more about MedCity or about sites like Dewsbury, please don't hesitate to ask us individually. I have my own hands-on experience with few business cases that university supports and resources for their R&D projects, and I can say that now I have to brag about it, but out of 8 overseas landings last year at SiteSec, 3 of the companies were from my pipeline, so from our Europe Central region. They were amazing, and one of them has actually been awarded because it's something related to graphene and advanced materials. So keep in mind all the opportunities. We can give a rough assessment of all, and then you can downsize your list of possible scenarios, and see if the North, if the London, if the Oxford or any other part of the UK is a good fit. But Emily, Nigel, and Derek, they can all give you hands-on information and a lot of things about the high-value opportunities. And later this evening, you'll see the DreamX business case with Elis doing the project management, and you'll see that they already have in touch support from the University of Manchester, if I'm not mistaken, MIDCO. So you'll see how it runs live, that it actually happens, and it doesn't take too much time for things to go live. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Probably Luben from Pelericsoft can ask his question.
Okay, hi guys. Thank you for presenting to us. So actually, I don't remember the question that I sent in the email, but I suppose it was something around what is the best approach to contacting clients in the UK when you're a service company?
Yeah, exactly. And Pavel's question is actually how to get UK clients trust. What is the most important for them? Kalina and Maria here just to share their questions.
Yes, hi everybody, I'm Maria Pencheva and I work as business development in Graphisoft. We are a software development company from Bulgaria, and my question was pretty much the same. What is the best approach to reach out to UK clients?
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. And Kalindiev from WebEx Software.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm actually open to answer on behalf of Kalin because he wasn't able to make it. So, so first of all, thank you for doing this. Thank you for having us. I'm the business development manager of WebEx Software. We're a software services company, and we work with companies from the United States and Germany. And currently, we don't have any clients from the UK, and we're looking to penetrate the market. So I'm not going to ask you what is the best way. I know what is the best way, through referrals. And as far as I know, you can do this. So thank you in advance for giving us the chance to penetrate that market and help the people in the UK to receive like the best services in Bulgaria.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm happy to go first.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I was going to try and say, I get where you're all coming from, and it's that kind of business development, sales thing. How do you get traction, customers, and so on? If that's kind of the way to wrap things up, yes, we can help. So a slight sort of caveat again before we sort of just manage expectations somewhat on this. What we can't do is start cold calling companies for you. We can't go to I'm old enough to remember a phone book, you know, to kind of go through it, start today and work your way down and just call companies for you because they might be interested in your product. That bit we can't do. The bit that we can do and is of interest, and if I use the example before, I think, Ivan, you were talking about, yeah, you had a product for, you know, an e-commerce retail tech product, for example. We do, as Cristina says, run a lot of events and activities whereby we're working with companies here, to use my expression before, that want to be world-class, that are looking for different products or services, meeting people they wouldn't normally meet, giving them a competitive advantage, and creating forums either that are already there with some of the key events and activities, or things that we will arrange ourselves. So often we'll arrange some of these pitching sessions, and that is what we did in March. So we'll sort of, we will try and put people in the same room together, I guess now virtually, whereby you get a chance to say who you are, what your product or service is, and we'll try and have people on the other end that are receptive to those sorts of ideas, potential selling opportunities. Usually it will be on the basis a bit more broad and in and around maybe feedback about you. So it might not be the deal straight away, but it's actually, well, your product or service, is it in demand? Is it a good fit? Is there much competition here? Is it something that they're already doing? Are they doing it in-house? Has someone else done it? Are they planning to do it in the future? You know, to give you a sense of what your fit is. But if there is a fit and actually what you're doing is, you know, the right sort of solution, and actually the customer's there, then yes. And we have had multiple examples of that, whereby a dialogue is established, a relationship is established, and we can open the door. So we can open the door and we'll try and find a way to do it. And I guess in a common sense, that's going to help everybody, but we get to need to know to the detailed sense in terms of what, because we had some questions there about med tech, health tech, pharma companies, and the other examples there we're talking in and around, for example, e-commerce and retail. So they're different types of customers and we can potentially help. But again, it comes back to that thing about what's your plan, what's your journey, what you want to try to achieve, and who can we start to make some introductions to. And maybe at the minute, it's a few of these sorts of things, these sorts of events and activities, just to get a sense about what your fit is in the UK marketplace.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nigel, if Emily doesn't want to add something, I would like to invite Elis.
Can I just add something really quickly? Okay. Just to say, to Nigel's point, I think, you know, both Department for International Trade and London and Partners do events of kind of matchmaking corporates with companies that we're working with. So we've actually got one coming up on Tuesday with AXA, the insurer. So if any of you are interested in speaking to insurers, then please let me know and I'll send you the invite. We had one this last week with Nike, for example, so a range of different sectors and very much kind of intimate calls like this where you can speak to the client or potential client directly.
Thank you very much, Emily. And Derek probably
Thank you, Emily.
Hi. I would actually turn the question around. First of all, I don't work with companies who just want to sell into the UK, and that's my program. We're about helping companies scale and internationalize their businesses using the UK as a launchpad, but we're happy to talk to companies. My question would be, though, you need to ask yourself, what differentiates you from others who are trying to sell to those companies? You really need to get somebody to be your advocate within those discussions as well. You need introductions. But primarily, just because you're selling to Germany and the US doesn't necessarily mean to say you're selling in the UK. The product might need some sort of might need adapting. It may be less innovative than other things that are on the market. So if you've done all that research, fine. But I just think you need to really go. Research is king on these sorts of things.
Thank you very much, Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
And now I would like to invite Elis Luige, who is a project manager from the Department of International Trade, and she will share with you and what is actually having your personal project manager who is coordinating the communication with those 750 plus experts that you can tap in terms of going to the UK market. And actually DIT is doing this for free, and this is part of the soft landing. So Elis, are you here?
I am. I feel like there was so much build up and I'm not going to live up to expectations. So I might as well just go now. I think the whole process, you know, to sort of briefly describe it, is that we all work as a virtual team. So I'm, for instance, based in London, but I very much represent a UK first approach. So I will be speaking to you know, the likes of Nigel and Emily and all the other colleagues in UK regions. But you get an appointed sort of point of contact, such as a project manager, such as myself, and then my 120 other colleagues, when you have spoken to Cristina. So once you solidify your plans on expanding into the UK, then you get an allocated point of contact. I guess I can tell you about Remix, how we worked with, and our amazing Jeremy. I met Hodor about 2 years ago. He probably doesn't remember. It was just as a result of conversations that Cristina had. And again, winning the initial TechProsperity, whatever it was called back in the day, competition. So you get a project manager. It's my role to speak to you, right? And it's my role to understand whether you're up, you know, to the competition level. It'll be my role to tell you, you know, what direction you should go. And I speak to so many companies from Central Eastern Europe, and they think, okay, we've got automotive clients, let's just go to this one sector. Well, what if, you know, the competition here is saturated? What if this is not where, you know, you need to go? Then it'll be my job to make you speak to other people. And again, we've got so many amazing specialists in house, like, you know, Chris Moore as well. He's not on a call, as well as Nigel. And it'll be their job to tell you about the trends and just make you think a bit differently. So once you sort of sorted this bit, or if, you know, if you already have some traction with UK clients, I'm here for you. I can make you introductions to accountants, lawyers, business development firms, whatever it takes to make you physically present and make you, you know, physically like set up in the UK, which is basically our, you know, our end goal, for you to come to the UK and start hiring people. But along the way, there are so many, you know, stages that we need to manage. Like for instance, with DreamX, I think it was an amazing idea from you, Mitko. You know, how do we benefit from Industry 4.0? Because UK is very hot on this. Like we're working on industrial strategy. Industry 4.0 is one of the challenges. How do we make foreign companies benefit from this? Oh, well, there is this amazing competition that Innovate UK is doing. University of Manchester is working in the same area. Why don't we connect those two dots, and why don't we make them speak to each other? So yeah, it's about understanding where you are at your journey, how you can benefit from UK commercial opportunities and plug in. But my job is just basically, I'm like a puppet master, just pulling the strings.
Thank you very much, Derek. I will give you the word just after Todor, because we have like 5 minutes to fit in the time, and after that we have 30 more minutes for whoever is most interested. But I would just like to add that thanks to Elis, we got amazing introductions. But I won't talk about that. I will just give the word to Todor, CEO of DreamX, who was one of the 5 companies that were selected in last year's program, and he actually Dimitar from DreamX were with me in the Manchester delegation, and there we were introduced to Midas, to the University of Manchester, and to a lot of super valuable connections. Todor.
So first of all, thank you for inviting me on this conference, and it's always great to reconnect with you guys. And I just want to send one message to everybody in this conference call and meeting. It's nobody has ever achieved anything by himself or herself. And believe it or not, here you're not seeing just like random individuals, rather than a very tightly knit community that is here to help you penetrate the UK market, or actually become part of the UK ecosystem, which is either a business ecosystem, a tech ecosystem, an investors ecosystem. And here you have the right people who can help you in this journey. So our journey started really with seeing just the same event that you're right now, and it was actually going there, informing and yourself and listening more about the different opportunities that lie in front. the opportunities are big, really. As we know, UK is one of the biggest markets, one of the most advanced economies, so it's something radically different from Central Eastern Europe. And we had this experience with working with UK companies. For example, we had some of our softwares that we've delivered that are used by Jaguar and Land Rover. I've been personally in RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, as a consultant in my early days of my career. So I knew the market, I knew that there are opportunities, but honestly, we're looking at it as a generic services company. And UK has so many different service companies that are coming from Europe, coming from India, coming from everywhere around the world, because UK is very international, as you know. And then it was really about listening of what are the opportunities, especially around the Northern Powerhouse. And Nigel, thanks for sharing. It was quite an eye-opener then.
Very welcome, my friend.
And really, it was boiling it down to where are our strengths and what unique parts does DreamX have. And thanks a lot to Mitko, who is actually he is running the biggest pre-accelerator program in Bulgaria for startups. So he has consulted many companies on finding their niche market. So when we talked after the event, and he asked me like, are you focused on any different industries? And I said, yeah, actually, yeah, we're not that generic. So we're focused on finance and banking, and we're focused on manufacturing. And then it quickly became obvious that actually our manufacturing focus is quite strong, and also we've already done several different solutions that are converging into one direction, which is optimizing production companies, leveraging the power of machine learning and AI. And we already had several products that we've built for other companies, and it was applying in other companies, and then it was really finding this focus. So thanks to Mitko, we actually continued the efforts on the UK market. And if it wasn't for him, honestly, I don't think we would be even a step that near, because it's not easy. I don't want to make it sound that it's very easy to go to a market that is not your local country, but when you are focused enough and when you have the help of somebody who is spending time on this, so it's dedicated time, it's far easier than penetrating our local markets, believe me. So UK, as we said, is very advanced in terms of doing business, and the ease of doing business is really high, like this special parameter, ease of doing business. So I cannot imagine coming and doing business in Bulgaria. I guess it's not easy. It's not easy for sure. But going to the UK, there are so many support organizations and organizations that link you to the right industry leaders and industry actors. And I would say that it's challenging, but it's the easy, like the mechanisms are there. So I want to really thank actually Elis, because she's been really a helping hand. I want to also thank Mitko, as I did it already, and of course Cristina and Nigel, because really you've opened so many gates for us. Because I cannot imagine just going to Manchester University and saying like, "Hey guys, we're just a company coming from nowhere. Can you help us?" Rather than when you go and you're like this official form, which is coming on this event, meeting the people, winning their trust, it's very easy to transfer the trust to other organizations. So what we're doing right now is that we're applying for a grant together with Manchester University. And then our idea is that we want to get the research from Manchester University, so we back the intellectual property that we're doing. Because it's one thing to say we're like IT geniuses coming from Bulgaria doing something great. It's completely different when you say, and by the way, our product is validated by one of the biggest and most prestigious research organizations in the world. So that's where we stand, and I would say that it's very essential to be well informed and to be also realistic, that it will take you time and it will take a lot of your focus. So what we had already before approaching the market is that Dreamix and I had our strategic advisor. So it's a very senior person. He's called George Webb. I mean, senior in terms of doing business, not that senior in terms of years. And George Webb is a person that we worked with before. So actually, he was a former client of ours. And 3 years later, when he moved from his CEO position to another place, he called us in and said, like, guys, I really enjoyed working with you. It was like both professional and fun. So I want to help you establish yourself better on the UK market. And George has been helping us before, because of course there is this different culture, different ways of approaching people, and I would say that the UK is a unique place where you can do business and have fun at the same time.
Thank you, Todor, very much. Actually, I would like to add that thanks to George Webb, who sat in front of David Hutton, who is in charge of advanced manufacturing from Midas, Manchester Invest. He said, well, I have been doing business with software companies from the Silicon Valley, from Los Angeles, everywhere in the world, but I have never seen such a high quality from a software company than Dreamix. And exactly after that, David Hutton actually connected us with the University of Manchester, and we actually been working with them for like 6 months. But I would like to say that actually this everything is thanks to the huge support of DIT, Cristina and Nigel, Elis, and everybody from the DIT, because actually without them, all those valuable introductions are not actually being done. And we have with you a question from Nikola Petrovic. Is Nikola here? It is about the biggest challenge in receiving funds for the project in UK. According to me, if I can answer, the question is, well, the biggest challenge is actually that for having all the service from DIT or strategic partnerships and sales, and you don't need an entity, but for funding and having an investor, so you need an entity. So you should decide if you're going to be a subsidiary or if you're going to actually have an entity as a natural person, because it's 24 hours and it costs £12. Yet there are some business decisions that you should make. And actually we applied for a grant. The first grant we applied in the beginning of October was with Dreamix and Dronamics. And actually we managed to create the project for 5 days. Elis just sent us 6 days before the deadline the project for Made Smarter manufacturing digital supply chains. But we had to do it with a partner, because you cannot actually apply as a single company. And we were looking to do it with the University of Manchester, but they said, guys, we have like 1 month administrative process in order to organize everything for the grant. So we cannot do it for this one with 5 days notice. So we actually communicated with a lot of Bulgarian companies that they have a legal entity in the UK, and we actually find quite interesting match with Dronamics in created a digital supply chain for this kind of predictive maintenance. Then you have a very, very, very expensive machine, and you have AI that is predicting that in 4 hours there is like 80% chance for the machine to be broken, and you have automation, because a drone is actually flying to the supplier, getting the part you need, and it's flying automatically to the manufacturer to give him the spare part, because 1 hour of downtime can cost like £200,000 or something like this. So we developed the project for 5 days without sleeping, and on 7th of December we will have the answer. The second grant was with the University of Manchester. We had a lot of issues and not very easy parts there. Actually, we didn't manage to apply for it 1 week ago, and we're going to apply in 17th of January for the Innovate UK Smart Grants. So according to me, it's not easy. Probably Todor can share his experience with our first 2 grants.
So actually, the experience is like every other grant, and it's getting to know what are the standards, getting to know which are the right organizations, and I believe a grant is just a way to reach to your vision and build your concept. I believe more importantly is the connections that you do, and the grant is just the mean to do it, or the vehicle, and then the connections of actually who you're going to do the grant with. That's the most important part.
Yeah, definitely partners are important. And what we are doing in Questups is supporting product companies or product spin-offs from service companies with a tailored product strategy sessions about finding the right UK partners and customers and funding. So you can book consultation with DIT or Questups. And I would like to have some of the more specific questions from you, for example, or Stani from Chase Cloud. Are you here?
Yeah, guys, hi there. So in Chase Cloud, we want to start on a transmedia edutainment brand, which basically is about entertaining and educating children from 6 to 12 about different topics, mainly entrepreneurship, but also computer programming. Yeah, this leaves a lot of questions on how you do something like that in the UK market. Obviously, you need the right partners. Education is tricky. Entertainment is even trickier. I have a couple of questions, but probably the one that's most important right now is actually how can we find partners in the creative sector, and also launch something that's educational, what the requirements would be legally, challenges, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. One of the things I said before was certain sectors are having a good COVID, and I spoke about e-commerce and retail tech. It's also true of content for children. Maybe not making the content, producing it's been difficult, but actually people watching it. And also something in the UK we call EdTech, so education technology, particularly into children, so people in school and so on. One of the things that I sort of speak about in terms of one of the biggest players in education and sort of children's content in the UK is the BBC. So most people, I guess, have heard of them. They're one of the British Broadcasting Corporation. They have a facility up in Media City in the UK, which is based in and around Manchester. They have both of their departments. They have children's department and their education department actually merged in the last 12 months, partly because these things are coming together anyway. We know them. There's actually quite a nice cluster around that. So if you're more interested in the creative side, you've got the creative side. If you're more interested in the education side, there's the education side. And I've actually put a number of ed tech companies in and around that cluster. That can sometimes be because they can get a commission. So the BBC actually commission people to work with them. They have spend. They want to sort of think about utilizing content in different ways, particularly if there's an education angle to it. So we can make some introductions to them in and around it. And then specifically, I mentioned before about some of the programs, and we spoke about I guess sort of accelerator program. So kind of a bit more than an incubator, a bit more of a structured way to engage. One of the biggest ed tech companies in the UK is a company called Twinkle. And I've got a couple of young children, and we've used it when they were sort of not able to get to school over the last few months. Twinkle have an accelerator program. We do quite a lot of work with them. So they're another good friend of ours, DIT. They can actually do a lot of, we spoke before about mentorship, for example. They can mentor, they can answer questions, they can actually open doors. They've got a certain amount of content and product services they produce, and they want to be with other companies from across the world that have additional products or services that might complement that in some way. And there is even the opportunity for those Twinkle to invest into businesses, actually quite a lot, quite a high level if needs be. So in that particular space, there's lots of different angles to go in. The message is it's an interesting one now more than ever. There are some nice clusters in and around, and there are some key players that are happy to engage, to partner, maybe in a very loose sense. And if you wanted to, I don't know what size or shape your business is in and what the plan is, for example, but if that sort of accelerator program, something you see yourself fitting within, there's something called Twinkle Hive, which is the specific accelerator program they have. So again, just a few ideas, but again, there's lots we can go at, but there's there would be a good fit and there'd be good things we could help you with.
Thank you so much. That sounds like an interesting way to start.
Yeah, we have been to the Media City. It's very interesting. Emily or Derek, can you add something?
Yeah, Derek again. I think you need to decide which segment of the education market you want to focus on, whether it's through schools or whether it's outside of schools. I mean, the educational technology market in the UK is massive, and as Nigel said, there are significant opportunities there. It's growing because of the challenges that COVID has presented with remote learning. So remote learning is a massive opportunity. But instead of thinking about sort of bits and places to go to, I think you really need to decide and look at which segment of the market is your product relevant in, and then once you've got that, look at the right channels in order to access and get into that market. And a guy on my team is we know of people that have great knowledge about these sorts of things. We brought in companies from, actually, it was a Turkish company that I met in Mostar at an event in Bosnia about 18 months ago, and they're in the UK now and have raised money and in the ed tech space. So we've got some experience around that, but really research is key on this one. What is your segment? How do you want to get into that? Do you want what is your business? What is the model of your business? What is your go-to-market strategy? All these things need to be really decided and as part of your pitch when you decide how you want to come into the UK. Those things are really important.
Just to add one more thing for your list is the EdTech Foundation, who very happy to introduce you to, or just have a bit of a Google and get in touch with them. But they're really a really important part of the ecosystem in terms of events and kind of being a thought leader in EdTech in the UK.
Thank you very much for your answers. The next question is actually, we cannot be without at least one COVID question. So it is from Tihomir Opacic from Orange Hill Development. Tihomir, can you?
Hello, I'm Tihomir from Belgrade, Serbia, Orange Hill Development Company. We are a software development company, and we have a product which is actually a CMS that we use for most of our product as a basis, which is also commercially available for other to use. So what we've seen in our area here as the COVID situation started was kind of 2 or 3 months delay of having new deals, and then gradually it kind of continued. But what's it like in UK? So what are the prognoses for the upcoming year, let's say? And what does the startup scene look like? Are people still open in investments and partnership opportunities?
So just if you look, very often it's interesting to sort of gauge startup and scale up activity by the levels of investment. And in the first 3 months of 2020, in the first 3 months, April through June, I believe it was about 2.6 billion invested. And VCs initially during COVID, the VC firms were looking at their portfolio companies to try and ensure that they were okay to go, to continue during the crisis. I think since we've come out of that, activity has the whole thing has been resuscitated and it's very active. VCs are looking for investment opportunities, specifically in the sectors what one might describe as the bounce back sectors. So the ones we've talked about, remote working, healthcare, health tech, future mobility, these sorts of things. So what I found is entrepreneurs are remarkably resilient. Where normal people see a problem, an entrepreneur sees it as an opportunity. So once the challenge has been considered and reviewed, then opportunity. So lots of companies have pivoted. Company we work with that is that does traditionally was DNA testing for elite athletes in order to help them with their exercise and their diet, nutrition. They now are involved in all the Premier League and English Cricket Board COVID testing. So they've adapted their testing for COVID testing. That's just something, I know that's one example, but I would say that it's very busy again. Investors are looking for investment opportunities, as they always will. And as I said, I think the whole scene, it's not the same, obviously, as it was 12 months ago, but it's still very active and there's lots going on.
Thank you, Derek. Nigel or Emily would like to add something about the COVID situation?
I was going to say there's obviously the challenge to physically meet up. So there's that anywhere, and that's not really a tech thing, that's just an anything thing. But I sort of said before, and I echo Derek's point completely. I think he's spot on. And I've given, I don't know how many sort of webinar sessions and meeting sessions and answering questions in and around, I guess, businesses across a number here. And I've got it written down on another screen because I wanted to just double check. I've done webinars on e-commerce and retail tech, ed tech, immersive technology, cybersecurity, media content, not necessarily the making of it, but the distribution of it, the monetization of it, games, online gaming, esports, somewhat controversially gambling, forgive me, but there's a broad ecosystem in and around that, sports tech, mobility tech, health tech, med tech. They've all had an incredibly good COVID, which I know is a horrible thing to say, but they have. So COVID creates barriers, but as Derek says there's lots of opportunities out there. And if you're inclined to sort of say, move further forward on these, we're here to help. And one of the things I said before, and I'll reference it again, I'll squeeze it in a soft landing, in terms of actually now how we can help you get into the UK, whichever way you want to do it. There's no right or wrong, it's whatever's right for you. We can help. And now is a time to actually take advantage of it, because lots of businesses are. So if you see yourself in that space to say, actually, I've got something that I think can, work over there, please let us know. We want to help you in that process. It might be a slightly different route to market for now. We might not be able to see you physically for now, but don't wait.
Great answer, Nigel. And Emily, would you like to add
something? Just quickly, I suppose, as an extension of Derek's nice proxy of or using investment as a proxy of kind of the health of the economy in general. Another example is kind of foreign direct investment or companies landing in the UK. And so just looking at our kind of London and Partners pipeline, this financial year, we're 25% up on what we had last financial year in terms of the number of companies that we've actually landed. And so that just shows that it is possible to set up even during COVID times. It is possible to kind of hire people and gain traction and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely don't let COVID put you off.
So thank you very much, Emily. And actually the last 10 minutes were for Questups to share with you what we're doing, guys. But entity registration with Remix, we were advised from different people that actually it's better to do it before January 1st, not only because it costs £12, but because after January the 1st, probably things are going to be different from companies, citizens from non-EU countries. I don't know about that, but our participants are thinking of questions. You can share what's going to happen after 1st of January, the other most interesting question after the COVID one.
I'll try and do it quickly in the same terms as with COVID. It might be a slightly different world that we're going to be operating within, but don't let it stop you. To my mind, if you're seeing the UK now as something you want to progress with, don't wait. I said that to the previous thing. Don't wait now, I guess. I wouldn't necessarily be overly hung up about the 1st of January thing, but if you are ready now, get on with it, I guess. Have a chat with Cristina and Mick in and around. I'll happily help both. Exactly what the world looks like beyond, I guess there will be some changes. I would put a very sort of simple fact out to say that the fact that the types of companies that you're operating within, the types of product or services you have. You are now and you will remain very welcome to be part and parcel of all that we're doing over here. We want you to be part and parcel of that. We want to help you in that whole process. If rules and administrations and paperwork changes, you're close to the right sort of people to help. So I would say get on with it. If you've got a specific question lying behind any of those things, fine. Obviously, we can take those sort of things in a bit more detail and offline. But again, I wouldn't wait to see how things happen. I'd get on with it now.
We go back to, I've been working with entrepreneurs for about 20 years, and I would reiterate, the best ones never see a problem as a problem. They see it as an opportunity. The other thing is, entrepreneurs tend not to look at things in simple locational terms. They're not coming to the UK because they want to come to the UK. They think it's a wonderful country. They're coming to the UK because of the business opportunity that the UK will provide that company, that founder with his business. That doesn't change after the 1st of January. Accessing it might change it slightly, but ultimately, a good entrepreneur with a good business and a good product and solution that is scalable will find its way into the UK. We will be, as ever, 1 in 6 businesses in the UK, 1 in 6 of all businesses in the UK was established by a migrant founder. So, foreign entrepreneurs are crucial and key to the UK economy. So we will continue to welcome entrepreneurs from around the world into the UK that have that can provide us with the opportunity, and in return we will provide them with the opportunity. So the legal stuff around it, all those things can be resolved quite simply, but it's about aspiration, ambition, and being inspired to be a great entrepreneur using the UK. I would just add that my program, we are now a visa endorsement body, so we can endorse the Innovator Visa, which is the visa that entrepreneurs need in order to locate their business in the UK, which obviously from Europe up until 31st of December wasn't needed, but we have that, we can do that. So companies that we work with that come into our program that we feel will have will be successful in the UK, we can help them with their visa application by endorsing that company. So, that people look at Brexit as a massive disadvantage, and if you're chairman of Ford or General Motors, then it is going to be a problem because of supply chain issues. We can't say that that's not true. But the fact is, as a founder of a startup or a scale-up business, the opportunities in the UK are so vast that it would be silly to overlook it. And we welcome companies, we welcome people from anywhere. So, it's an opportunity not to be missed.
Thank you, Derek. And Emily, would you like to add something?
I think Derek's done a wonderful job. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. The only things I would say is that if you are, if you think that there's a market for you in the UK, if you think that you've got customer base, then those people are still going to exist on the 1st of January. And ditto, talent. There's a huge amount of talent. There's 51 higher education institutes in London alone. Think about the kind of talent that's being pumped out into the whole country from there, and being here gives you access to that talent. I think we can't deny that it's something that the businesses need to factor in, but I think especially for all the kind of industry and size that your organizations are, I think it's very much manageable.
Thank you very much, Emily. And feel free to write to me or to Cristina or both. What would you like to see more in the next 2 events? Because you already have received my personal mails in the invitations for this event. The next event is going to be in January, and the topic will be funding and granting solutions. And we have as speakers Christian from Gapminder, Kirill from the CEO, the UK chapter of CEO Angels Coop, and Simon, who is from Knowledge Transfer Network, and he's actually consulting us with Dreamix about the grant. I see that many of you are adding me on LinkedIn. Feel free, it's Karamanchev. and be brutally honest with your feedback in order for us to be better, and just to drop a line what we can do better, because the force is obviously with us. It's great, yet we believe that we can do the whole program even greater if you are, again, brutally honest. I would like to sincerely thank you guys. Speakers are amazing, and thank you for your time, for your great answers, for your pitches, and thank you, Cristina, for making all this possible. You're amazing, and we have really productive work for the last 2 years. And I would like to thank to our partners, BESCO, the Bulgarian Software Association, the Serbian Chamber of Commerce. There are a lot of partners listed in the program, and you can see them in order to keep the time on the spot. That's all for me. Thank you again, and you are great. So Great Britain is probably for you.
Mitko, just to add my last notes. So it's not sponsors, it's partners. So DIT is sponsoring the full program, but these are not sponsors. I want you to understand these are partners. So these are people that and organizations that you can actually talk to, and you can partner up with, and you can bridge, you can find synergies with. So we are kind of all a part of the same bridge. And hopefully for those who haven't given us the 5 stars, just tell us why, because we want to be better next time. We do still have a lot of surprises and events up front for you, so we want to do it, improve ourselves. Thank you all for taking the time. We have 2 hours now. Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Elis. Thank you, Derek, and the rest. And hope to see you safe in best of health on our next event. It's going to take place next year in January, and we are going to remake the selections, but we will keep you in mind that you already applied and you already filled in the questionnaires. So keep up the good work. Have trust in yourself, stay positive, as my colleague Teddy says. Stay positive and stay close to us. Never hesitate to contact. And for all those questions that we haven't managed to answer to, we can address them on our next event or separately per email. Okay?
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, guys. Have fun, and may the force and the health be with you.
And Saint Nicholas to bring loads of gifts and sweets.
Thanks,
everyone.
You.
It was great. Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
great.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take good care, guys. Bye.
Great speakers.